Well, we've been talking about it in all of our newscasts, and it's a hot topic with a lot of our viewers. Should South Carolina lower the drinking age to 18? Well, that's what State Representative Todd Rutherford is proposing. Joining me right now is the representative from Columbia. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning.
Of course. How are you?
I am doing well. All right. So the last time that the drinking age was changed was decades ago. So why now? Why after, nearly 40 years?
The last time the drinking age changed was in 1984. And so since that time, we've had time to look at data and comparative analysis and see where we should be. And the rationality is that back then we wanted to make sure that roads were safer, make the drinking age 21, the age to possess 21, in hopes that would change things. The reality is we now have enough data and enough knowledge to know that beer and wine is safe to consume at 18. And in fact, if we allow people to start consuming beer and wine at 18, we can teach them how to drink safely and responsibly, rather than what we have is this door policy that says, when you're 21, drink as much as you can. That doesn't work. It hasn't worked for decades, and we need to change it. People need the freedom to decide that.
All right. And I think that one thing that people are asking is, are we going to lose federal funds by increasing or decreasing the drinking age?
And the short answer is yes. Under the current federal law, we would lose this year about $38 million. The problem is they're forgetting the tax on society by the number of people that we are arresting that are 18, 19 years old, these college students that are coming down to Columbia, going to Clemson, going to these other schools, and they have a beer in their hand and they get arrested for that. Their picture gets put on the internet. They are then, for the rest of their lives, a criminal. We've got to stop that. That cost to society is far greater than the $38 million that South Carolina is getting in federal highway funds. And secondarily, I believe that we are right now awash in money, that we can fix that, we can fill that $38 million void and stop arresting these kids that are getting college age and should be able to have the freedom to decide whether to drink or not.
Now, are there any specific lawmakers that you know that are absolutely opposed to this?
I am sure that I'll run into those people that are opposed to it. And the question that I will ask them, as well as the people that have called me on their own and said, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. Tell me the data that you have collected that says that taking away this freedom from a college student is a good thing. We are allowing them to go off to war. We are allowing them to take on crippling college debt. We make them adults for the criminal justice system. But to suggest that they can't have a beer is ridiculous. All of us that have been to Mexico and went as high school kids or college kids know that in Mexico, the drinking age is 18, that in Italy, the drinking age for wine is 16, and they don't have the drinking problems that we do. Doing something because that's what we've always done is the worst reason to continue doing it.
And can you name any of those lawmakers that are opposed to it, just so we can reach out to them as well?
I don't have any right now. Those are the ones that are the last to call me. What I've gotten are a number of Republican lawmakers calling me going, my God, why did you do this? My constituents are begging me to vote for it because they want the freedom to allow their son, their daughter who's in college, their daughter or son that has reached that age to have a beer, to have a glass of wine outside of the home. And so we're trying to figure out what the proper age is, how we teach kids responsibility in drinking, and how we make sure that they don't go out and drink and drive the way that people over 21 do. We've got to stop that, but I think you do that by giving them the freedom at an earlier age.
All right. So are there any other states that are asking for the same thing?
I've not heard of anybody asking for it. And I think the only reason why it occurred to me to do it this year is because we have so many federal dollars coming down. We received a BEA estimate yesterday, which kind of got glossed over, that we've got about $2 billion in non-recurring money that we're going to have to spend this year, and $1 billion in recurring money, more money than I've seen since I've been elected since 1998. So $38 million would not crush South Carolina this year. And so we need to start to look at it. And one of the things that is most important to me, these kids that are getting to be 18, 19, 20 years of age, this is a generation that is accustomed to using Uber, that is accustomed to using Lyft. They don't have to go out and drink and drive the way that previous generations did. So now is the time to look at giving them more freedom because they understand what it's like to go out and have a party, go out and drink, and then catch a ride with someone else.
All right. And I have to say, from an emotional standpoint, we actually just had 2 children that were killed by drunk drivers in the last 2 weeks. Is there any research that shows that lowering the drinking age to 18 won't increase drunk driving incidents? Any correlation?
the correlation is shown by looking at other countries that have lower drinking ages and don't have the problems that we do with binge drinking, with people going out and committing DUIs. I don't drink, and I'm a criminal defense lawyer, and the bulk of the cases that I see that are not only DUI but felony DUI, where someone is injured or hurt, those people are far older than 21. So it's not just that if you allow it, you're going to automatically cause a bunch of deaths. We would be allowing it for a generation of people that have options. When I went through high school many years ago, you had to catch a cab or call your parents or call a friend. Now people have an app on their phone. They catch Uber and Lyft and don't even think about it. This is the generation that we should look at teaching them responsible drinking and without making them into criminals because of this arbitrary 21 age.
So a lot of our viewers actually were posting on Facebook and saying that drinking is more dangerous than marijuana, and legalizing medical marijuana is something that you've put forth. So I want to ask now, where does that stand? Has there been any discussion on, legalizing medical marijuana?
There is. And in fact, the Senate will take up a bill, and we understand it to be the first bill up in the Senate this year to deal with medical marijuana. And so we are actually making progress in South Carolina on that front. We will follow 38 other states that have already recognized giving people the personal freedom to do what they want to in their home and exercise their own degree of health care. And so as far as beer being worse than marijuana, I totally disagree. And again, many people are mistaken. I'm not lowering the entire drinking age, just the drinking age as it relates to beer and wine. And so I think that we can do that, do it responsibly, not make criminals out of our college students or college age students, and not make our roads any less safe.
All right, Congressman, before I let you go, is there anything else that you want our viewers or folks out there to know about this proposed legislation?
No, I think you covered it all.
All right. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us this morning as well.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. And that bill will be considered when the General Assembly reconvenes in the new year. And we'll, of course, be following up on that as well.